so many times people ask us questions, what do I do when I'm buying such a property, maybe property that I need to convert. And then most times, you know, when people have learned that's not on title, the moment you mention to say you need to convert, people think to say it's impossible and everything. So this presentation rightly answers those questions and gives you the opportunity to have an insight into what happens when you are converting land from customary tenure to, of course, leasehold or state land. So what I would say is for those that have questions, or maybe those that are eager to know exactly what this process is all about, the presentation has just started. What you need to do is pay attention to what he will talk about next week. But for what he talked about tonight, you can simply send us an email to info@thehorizonproperties.com if you have any questions, contributions, or you seek clarity on one or two, because I know the others who are stuck may have been trying to process title here and there, or maybe to convert land, but they're stuck, they don't know what to do. Information is right here, and if you seek any clarifications, you have any questions, please send us an email to info@thehorizonproperties.com and we'll gladly be of help.
All right, thank you, Adrian. Let me bring in Derek now. Can you walk us through with the Horizon Green Village project? I know it's been a minute since we've spoken about it, and you usually give sizes and plots here. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. What vision do you have for this development, and how is it different from anything else on the market? We know there are other gated communities, but there's something special about the Horizon Green Village.
Okay, first and foremost, Nona, I would like to appreciate for that question. For those that are listening to us for the first time, I think, like you have rightly put it, that it's been a while since we talked about the Green Village. So, in a nutshell, I'd say the Green Village, this is an ambitious, eco-friendly housing development that is being spearheaded by Horizon Properties. So, we would like to actually clarify, because in most cases, we have got, or rather, we have received calls, we have received questions from the public, okay, whether the Horizon Green Village is a company on its own, which is different from Horizon Properties. But we'd like to confirm during this session, Nono, that the Green Village actually is just a project that is being pioneered or that is being spearheaded by Horizon Properties. So there's no difference between Horizon Properties and the Horizon Green Village. Only that the Green Village is a project under Horizon Properties, okay? So when we say this is a project, we are talking about a housing development, okay, which is located in Silveris Extension. So when you just pass the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport roundabout, instead of you using the airport road, you're actually using the Greatest Road. So you drive on the Greatest Road about 20 kilometers from the airport roundabout, and then just after the Ross Breeders, okay, there's a famous farm along the Greatest Road called Ross Breeders, just next to that farm. So you branch off from the Greatest Road and drive just about 2 kilometers, you get to the Horizon Green Village. So now, when we talk about this housing development, we're talking about us managing a housing complex that will have about over 2,500 housing units within the space, okay? So at full completion, we expect to have such figures in terms of the housing units within the gated community, okay? So, no, when we talk of the Green Village, we are talking about a community that will be independent on its own, okay? So if you are going to buy into this gated community, you are rest assured that you are joining a community that will actually boost up the economy of Chongwe, the economy around the east, the east part of Lusaka. So those numbers are the ones that were actually envisioned in terms of the housing units that we're going to have by the end of the day at full completion of this project. Then I would like to talk of what is the main anchors of this project, okay? Because we understand that people talk about gated communities, okay? They talk about gated communities, they talk about people living in a secured place, but I think for the Green Village, there are main three principles or fundamental principles that are actually at the center of this gated community, Nono. One, we're talking about sustainability. Okay, this is a gated community that is mainly anchored on sustainability. Okay, when you come to the Green Village, expect that you be requested to adhere to these sustainable practices. What are these sustainable practices? We're talking about people planting trees. We're talking about people maintaining the environment to be clean and green. We're talking about people adopting what we're calling the biodigester sewer management system. We're talking about people embracing other sources of energy apart from the usual electricity that we know. We're talking about the solar energy and other forms of energy that you can actually adopt. And from just the sewer system that we have adopted there, actually one of the end products there is it's biogas. So you can actually have biogas from the sewer system that we have adopted there, which you can use as an alternative in terms of energy. Apart from the sustainable aspect of this project, Nono, we also have the affordability aspect. We understand as Horizon Properties, it is not just in us that no, we should consider this as business as usual, but we should also help out in terms of bridging the gap that is there, okay, in terms of the deficit in accessing affordable land and also accessing affordable housing. So when you come to the Green Village, this is what we're advocating for, okay? We do not have the specific class of people that we appeal to, in as much as the Green Village appeals to the upper class of people, but we understand that the pricing structure is actually more affordable to even other classes of people. You talk of the middle class, you talk of the lower class. So if you want to buy and have access to affordable land, affordable housing, come to the Green Village, because that component is part of that project, because it's part of the vision that is attached to this project. I think another component that I would mention is its modernity. Okay, we're living in an era where people want to live in modern houses with spacious rooms, and you can name it. So the Green Village hasn't left that behind. In as much as we're talking about sustainability, we're talking about the affordability aspect of it, but modernity is also at the center of this project. So when you come to the Green Village, you just look at how the planning has been done. You realize that the planning is to fit in the times that we're living now. Okay, we are talking about the skirion roof. We're talking about the orderliness in terms of structures and also the quality of structures that are being built there. Because if you are going to come to the Green Village and thinking to say you are going to build whatever you want and in whichever way you want, but I think the Green Village is and has a standard. Okay, we're not talking about us dictating what you should build, but we are of a certain standard. Okay, so the quality should speak for itself. We don't want when an inspection team comes either from Horizon Properties or even from the local government itself, we don't want to find you wanting. That's why we are actually very strict in terms of the structures that you are building, the quality of materials that you are using, and also you buying into the planning that has been done within the site, because we understand that that creates order, that shows that you are living in the modern times. Okay, you're not just living as people that are just establishing another shanty compound somewhere. No, we are actually speaking about the orderliness. We're talking about people following the standard that has been set. Okay, and by that we do not mean that we're dictating what you should build, but we are helping you to come up with structures that will live for a test of time and that will save even the next generation to come. You equally also asked about a vision that we have in terms of what is separating the Green Village from other structures or other developments elsewhere. I think our vision, Nono, is very clear. Okay, the vision that we have in the Green Village is that we are creating a self-sustaining, eco-friendly and inclusive gated community. Okay, by self-sustaining, everything has been planned for. Nono, when you come to the Green Village, we'll show you where the shopping mall, we'll show you where the hospital will be, we'll show you where different schools will be, we'll show you where a sports complex will be, and we'll show you any other amenities that we have planned for there. Why? Because we want it to be a gated community that is self-sustaining. We don't want you, when you buy into the gated community, you have to move from the community, you go to the nearby mall or a nearby gym for you to go and do your usual exercise. What we want is we want people to have everything within the gated community, so that the time that they would leave the gated community, maybe when they are going for work, but not where they're accessing services or accessing commodities. We want people to have everything within their vicinity, so that they can be able to live the life that they want. Okay, by eco-friendly, like I mentioned, we're talking about sustainability. We want people to adopt these practices because we understand and we can see the effects that are coming from climate change, and we want people to actually adopt these practices moving forward, so that even the next generation should be able not to have difficulties in terms of them preserving the environment, because we understand that we have a duty as a company to actually instill and also help out communities for them to adopt these practices, because we understand that if we are going to be affected by the effects of climate change, we should also be part of the solution. Okay, and people must be able to adopt these practices so that they can be able to fight the climate change in every way possible. I think another point that I mentioned that also encompasses the vision of this project is its inclusivity. What we're trying to do in the Green Village is for everyone to have equal access to affordable land and affordable housing. That's why when you come to the Green Village, we haven't created classes where maybe someone would say, okay, this side, this is for the high-end properties, or maybe this side, this is where now the middle class should live, or this side, this is where the lower class should live. What we're creating is to have a community that is inclusive. Okay, that's why people, those that would want to have a huge space of land, they can actually buy more than one plot and merge them, so that they have what they desire in terms of the size. That has actually distorted the classes. Okay, there's nothing like, okay, here, this is where those that seem to be richer should live, those that are coming from the lower end, they should live this side. No, what we're creating a gated community that is inclusive, a gated community that will actually create a future for each and everyone to actually remember that Horizon Properties came up with this project for everyone to have access to it.
Okay. Now we know that real estate obviously is not just about people making money or making profits. It's about building communities, and as you put it real clear there, that is what the Green Village is all about. Now, how does Horizon Properties ensure that developments like the Horizon Green Village foster a sense of belonging and quality of life? And I know you got into it briefly there when you talked about the different classes, because really we're not choosing here whether this one has more money than the other one, or this one has a gemstone mine or anything. Anyone, even a teacher, a police officer,
yes,
anyone can walk through and buy property.
Indeed. And I think to answer your question, I think I'll answer it in three phases. So the first one, I would say, to create a sense of belonging, like I mentioned earlier, it's about people having access to different amenities and also services. Okay, so I'll give an example. We have created, right now we're doing a play park for the kids. Okay, and we understand that those that have bought into the project right now, they would obviously leave their kids to go and play with other kids. Meaning that creates a sense of belonging, because now people are able to use the same facilities and they're able to live together. Okay, they have a feel to say we belong here. That will give them an opportunity to actually develop values and principles that they should live by, because we understand that these amenities that we have actually planned for Nono, they will be used by the people that will be living in this gated community. Okay, so these facilities will belong to them, and these facilities will help to create a sense of belonging. People will know to say we belong here, and these are our facilities. Even in terms of taking care of them, they will be able to take care of them because they understand that these facilities, they are there to serve them. Okay, for example, those that may have values in terms of exercising every day, we have a sports complex there that will house different sports activities there. Okay, and people will come together. They will use those facilities for the same purpose. As a result, they will create that sense of belonging to say, we belong to this environment and these facilities must be taken care of because they belong to us. So there will be shared amenities and services. And also the aspect of sustainable practices that I mentioned earlier, Nono, that also serves as an opportunity for people to live together and practice the same values. Okay, as Horizon Properties, our aim is just to introduce these values to them, but it is them to live up to those values. Okay, so when we're going to advocate, as we advocate for people to plant more trees, we are not going to be there forever to continue advocating, but people should actually pick up that activity and be able to do it by themselves. That will create a sense of belonging. They will know to say, by us living in this gated community, we live by these practices. We need to plant more trees. We need to make our environment to be green. We need to make sure that this sewer system is maintained, and other practices that we have put forward.
Okay, I will give you an opportunity, obviously, to finish with your point there. We need to quickly break off for the headlines at 19. Do stay tuned. This is Property Focus. This is Property Focus, brought to you courtesy of Horizon Properties. Now, before we took the break for the headlines at 19, Derek, you were explaining there a little bit about the sense of belonging and the quality of life that people can expect when they come into the Horizon Green Village. You can continue.
Yes, no. So, just to conclude, so my point was that the three principles that are actually at the center of this gated community that we mentioned as sustainability, modernity, and affordability actually creates that sense of belonging for people to know that we belong to this gated community. Okay, under sustainability, we mentioned that people need to adopt all the practices that we have developed for them to fight the effects of climate change. Another aspect that I mentioned was obviously modernity. People are actually now attaching more value to the properties that they're building, because we have actually put that emphasis that you need to actually build quality structures in a planned manner, and also in a manner that your structures will be able to live for a test of time. And as a result, we have observed that there's so much passion from the people that have bought into this vision for them to actually build structures that will be there for a test of time. I think another aspect, obviously, is its affordability aspect. Okay, we understand that we're giving people opportunities for them to access affordable land and affordable housing. As a result, people now have developed the passion to actually have that independence for them to live in an area that they feel safe, in an area that has actually all the services that they want, in an area where they're looking forward to these amenities that we have mentioned, for them to live that kind of life that they have always wanted. So, in a nutshell, I would say these aspects that I've mentioned, they have formed the basis where people now are developing values that should guide them within the gated community and principles. Because we understand that once these amenities are in place, they'll be able to take their kids to schools that are within the gated community. They will be able to access medical services within the gated community. They will be able to access commodities and services within the gated community. That will have now the impact in terms of the kind of the quality of life that they will live there, and also that sense of belonging. Because as Horizon Properties, we have done our part to make sure that this vision should be able to stand and people should actually be able to buy into it. And we agree that those that have bought into it are able to demonstrate what we have always envisioned. Okay, for those that are listening to us right now and maybe they're wondering whether we still have plots in the Green Village and the prices, I would like to mention that we still have plots within the gated community. Obviously, a limited number of plots that are remaining. So we have two sizes of plots currently. We have the 20 by 22.5. Those are going for 120,000 kwacha. Then we also have the 30 by 30 plots. Those are going for 228,000 kwacha. So if you are listening to us and you'd like to actually come through to view the plots, please give us a call on 077 9707 215. I'll repeat the number, 077 9707 215. So give us a call or just send us a message on WhatsApp on the same number. We'll be able to schedule an appointment with you so that you can be able to view this amazing and beautiful gated community that actually is the future of Silverest.
All right, thanks so much, Derek. Now, what makes Mungule, Chisamba, Chongwe, Chiawa farms, as well as Kafue, Katuba, Leopard's Hill, Stumbeko title plots such a great starting point for land banking, especially for young people?
Thank you so much, Nako. Just to do exactly what the other speaker was actually saying. For Mungule, Chisamba, Chongwe, Chiawa, you realize to say these are areas which are still developing, people are still building, as opposed to areas, let's say, Chalala, Lilai, maybe Liwala, and maybe partly Ibex, which most of the time I would say they've reached their cash cow stage. So there is a difference there. You realize to say land in Mungule, Chisamba, and these other areas is still on the lower side if you have to compare in terms of price. Because like for 5 acres of land in Mungule, we're selling it for 150,000 kwacha for 5 acres, and that's the cheapest. And then you realize to say the other parts, which are more closer, for those that want to do residential, they would be selling for 215,000 kwacha for 5 acres. The same amount of space, if you found it, let's say, in State Lodge, you'd be fetching for something like maybe 2.5 million kwacha if it's 5 acres and above. Others will go up to 5 or so. So if you were to get land, let's say someone who's just starting a real estate journey, you're trying to get a farm, or maybe you're trying to get space where you want to stay, let's say 5, 6, 7 years from now or 10 years from now, the best you can do is come through and check what we have. Because being on the market, we understand exactly what's happening in terms of the trend or in terms of how the development is going. We're able to tell you to say, maybe in this particular area, this is what you expect in the next 2 or 3 years. And definitely you find that at times, even before the periods that we give you, certain things would definitely come up, and you see certain people moving into that area, putting up houses and all sorts of developments. So someone would be wondering, like, what do we have in these particular areas? So for Mungule, like I said, we have 5 acre portions of land, which we are selling at 150,000 kwacha. And the other space, we have 5 acres again in Mungule, where we are selling them at 215. And then for Chisamba, we have 5 acre portions of land, which we are selling them at 100,000 kwacha. So these farms in Chisamba are only 9 kilometers from the tired road. If you are using the road from Landis Corner, others go into Mumba Road. And then for Chongwe, I think we have a number of portions or sites, of which at most the closest would be in the ranges of about 150,000 kwacha for 5 acres, which is in Bango. And then we also have other portions which we are selling at 80,000 kwacha right in Bango, but slightly off the road. And then we also have farms in Chongwe which we are selling at 75,000 kwacha. And then for Chiawa, we have 50 acres of land which we are selling at 50 acres of land which we are selling at 350,000 kwacha. And then we also have 20 acres portion of land which we are selling at 160,000 kwacha. And then we also have 5 acres which we are selling at 50,000 kwacha. So for all these areas, for those that would want to get bigger spaces, maybe for farms, but later on you wish to stay there, the only thing you need to do is that look at which distance suits what you need. Or others, because people have different reasons for wanting to get land. You just find what fits you and buy in these areas. The reason is simple. Land is still cheaper in these particular areas as compared to already built areas of Saka. That's the simplest explanation that I can give. Because if you have to get land which is, let's say maybe in Guerrero, others these days are now talking of dollars. They'll give you the price in dollars. But to get land, let's say in Silverest for a 5 acre portion of land, you'll be talking about 4.5 million kwacha and above. So the best is to get land in areas where the values are still low as compared to the areas where the values have already gone up. So if you're someone who's young and is looking to invest, the best to get land from is these particular areas. And if you're someone who's looking for a residential plot, we have plots in Kafue, which are 20 by 30 plots on title, and the price is only 75,000 kwacha. We also have plots in Katuba, which are just a kilometer from the third road, and these plots are on title, the 20 by 30 in size, the price is only 75,000 kwacha. We also have limited plots on Leopards Hill. If you're someone who may have a bit of cash and you want to invest, and you want to take advantage of the situation that there's still a bit of land that Horizon Properties is offering on Leopards Hill Road, closer to the tarmac. If not on the tarmac, you can get a 20 by 30 plot on title at only 250,000 kwacha. Then if not, we have very affordable plots which we have on title in Stumbeko, of which a 50 by 50 plot on title is selling for 25,000 kwacha, and then a 1 acre plot on title will be selling for 38,000 kwacha. So when you look at all these values, despite the prices being low and of course the distances being good and these particular parcels being accessible, we also offer installment plans. So you're not just restricted to what you can get in terms of cash, but you can also pay in installments, where you come through, we sit down, we show you the property, and then we give you the plans, and then you choose. Of course, if you're someone who has the money and you want to pay cash, we consider to give you a slight discount on that particular purchase. So the best we can do is to get land in areas where people have not yet realized the values of those land. Don't look at the distances, because certain areas in Lusaka, like Silver Rest, the Leopards Hill, Pamikango, Bafut, Piapa, Ngwerere itself, and even the Mouse that we always talk about, those are areas where in the past people said, no, I can't get land there. I would rather go buy a house in Chilenje. But when you look at the developments that have happened there now, you realize to say most of these people that never had the opportunity to get this, or maybe those that missed out on the opportunities to get these particular properties, are now regretting. Most of them would actually tell you, I wish I got a plot when you guys had that particular project there. I really love that place. The reason, those places may have developed and people may have settled there, and of course where we're selling there's always order. But developments are planned and everything is straightforward. Please take advantage and make sure to say you get yourself at least either a farm or a plot in the areas that I've talked about here tonight.
All right. Now, many people think that you need a lot of money, obviously, to start investing in property. Is it true? And are there any entry-level opportunities that Horizon offers?
It's not true, that. It is not true. You don't need Kasaka for you to come and
Yes.
You don't need Ichola for you to come and get a plot or a farm at Horizon Properties. So the reasons are simple. Number one is what I just mentioned, to say we have flexible payment terms. So in certain sites, you realize to say our terms may even be longer. In other sites, the terms may be shorter. But despite all that, we have something for everyone. We have plots in most parts of Lusaka right now, and we have land in almost most parts of Zambia, I would say. Because if you're someone who's looking for a farm in Kushi, we have something for you. Someone who's looking for a farm, let's say maybe in Fanyama, would have something for you. The Copper Belt, you can name it. There's always something that we have selling for you. And when you look at the prices, they're competitive. I just talked of 50 by 50 plots on title, selling for 25p Stumbeko. That size of land is something that even those plots you see on Facebook, people advertising, and you see buses not going there on Saturdays. They don't give you that size. Where's something on title? So you have an opportunity to get something which is genuine, something which is on title. As much as it's on title, it's genuine and it's affordable, but we're also giving you an installment plan. So that tells you to say you don't need to have all the money in the world for you to get a plot. You can start from somewhere. Because if you're buying a plot for 25p, and then we tell you to someone to pay 10p as initial payment, and then start paying installments, definitely anyone can afford to do that. Eh?
Yes, I believe so. And maybe to also mention the further incentive that we have on the Stumbeko 50 by 50 plots. In as much as they're already going at a cheap price of only 25,000 kwacha, Mr. Zaza, mukagula ma plot ya bili ma situmbeko ma 50 by 50, that means you're going to have to spend a 50,000 kwacha to get 2, meaning you're going to have 100 by 50. Yes? Yeah. So now we have put a further incentive, and especially to accommodate what we haven't categorized or accommodated, but I believe we are further pushing younger generations to come in and purchase also. The incentive is this. Ukagula yabili, instead of getting 25 for each piece, meaning 50,000, Mr. Zaza, we are only going to charge you 45,000 kwacha for 2 lots. Now, of course, it also comes with a catch. Everything comes with a price. The price for this one is that you'd have to pay it outrightly. Otherwise, if you're going to stick to the original pricing of 25,000 for a 50 by 50, and even if you're getting 2, then we're obviously going to give you the payment plan, but in lieu of the further discount of 5,000 kwacha. And then again, as mentioned by my supervisor here, Mr. Mbewe Adrian, Situmbeko 1 acre, 1 acre ndala, going at only 38,000 kwacha. You see? Again, going back to the issue that we're talking about, you don't need to be at high entry level or anything. We're talking about very low amounts, and then further incentive of what is mentioned of having payment plans that are in place for you despite the charge, the total charge only being 38,000 kwacha. And then something that we haven't been mentioning in a while is that in Chiawa we also have 5 acre lots that are going, pardon me, Mr. Snez of Novanama. Exactly, 50,000 kwacha for 5 acres. You see, Situmbeko Tagambama 50 by 50 going at 25 a piece. We have 1 acres in Situmbeko going for 38,000 kwacha, and then we have a further now incentive or a better pricing for more space. This is Chiawa, giving you 5 acres. Again, this is not customary land. This is land that is in transition to being state-owned land now. This land is going at 50,000 kwacha for 5 acres. Mr. Zaza, basically you're getting an acre 10,000 kwacha only. Now, if that is not low entry level, Mr. Zaza, that is accommodating to Masaba that grade 12, but age still on the parents' mind. Okay, yeah, even somebody in university basically can afford this if they just manage their finances very well.
Essence for me, I think, is to start early.
Start early,
so
Mr.
even
Zaza.
if you're in grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, you
Yes.
should be thinking about it.
And then you could obviously say you're a student or somebody who just left college and whatnot, a young man coming up, and yet you want to get into the property business. Like we're saying, low entry level. Get in contact with us. Immediately we have Black Friday on, we get to call you. Look, we've got these hot deals, whatnot. You may not have much, but these are the best prices right now in the country. Jump on it. And surely you will do what you need to do. So this is what we're saying. Get involved, get interested now, and make those relationships.
All right. Now, let's talk about areas or neighborhoods, obviously that are most on demand at the moment. And I know you're very vested when it comes to this, Lutanda. What kind of properties are trending there? Because housing can be difficult sometimes, but there are places that I think are hot, and that is where everyone wants to go and either build something or buy a house there or even rent a house there.
You know what, in trying to avoid going through what Mr. Mbewe Adrian has gone through, as in mentioning what is mentioned here, maybe I'll just skim over them so that we cancel those areas out and then move on to the areas that he hasn't mentioned, if that or there are any. Talk about, he's already mentioned Leopard's Hill properties or other plots that we have. We have a handful. He mentioned, no, we've got a few. No, it's actually a handful. Don't we have less than 5 now? Yes, we only have 1 road front that is now current. Of course, then we have the 20 by 30s. The road front is a 30 by 30 going at 500,000 kwacha. So this is road front of Leopard's Hill Road. And then now the rest of the site gives life. In that site, we have, of course, the 20 by 30s that are going at only 250,000 kwacha. So, nakeva kaplota kaka 30 by 30 kanekalipo, you need to jump on it now. At least with the 20 by 30s that are there, again, I tell you not to wait, because we do not advise to anybody to wait to buy land. Instead, we say buy now and wait. for it, of course, to gain value or for you to get ready to develop it. The 20 by 30s, I'm saying, we have a handful, but again, they are going really fast. I think that was a month and a half or so. We had about 25 or so. And right now we're talking about only having 5. So jump on those, they're moving fast also. And then keeping true to the very same area of the eastern direction of Leopards Hill Road, I would mention maybe the Njolo area that we have. Coordinator, do you have any details on the Njolo?
It's about 5 Ks from the Leopards Hill Road, and we have 20 by 30 lots, and the price is only 100,000 kwacha now.
So that's what we have in Njolwe, and then now we move away from Njolwe again. We go, of course, to the eastern side. That now it's the both eastern sides. So now we're talking about the Great East Road. The Great East Road. My very good and able colleague here, Derek Katongo, came on and mentioned the Green Village project, which is in Silverest Extension. The plot sizes, the 20 by 22.5 going at 120, and the 20 by 30 is going at 228. Is it so? Yes, so this is another great opportunity. I shall not get into detail about it. However, what I will say is, make the time to view, so that then you put life into what is being said here, and then you get to see whether you gravitate towards it or not. Lutanda is an exaggerator. Or Lutanda, actually, you know what? He was supposed to say more about the Green Village project because he did not do it justice, of which I would stamp my name on the latter. So, ladies and gentlemen, with the Green Village project, viewing is on demand. What we mean is that our job is to get you on the ground, have an appreciation of what is there, and then obviously come back with you. So, view at your liking, at your own timing. Obviously, just call any of our agents to make that appointment, and we shall get you on the ground. And there's a date that has also been allocated to make sure that there are no movements. That day is actually allocated towards viewing. They can obviously call us throughout the week. We'll take them down on the ground. But Saturday has been specifically allocated to people that work through the week and do not have the time to view then. So obviously we have Saturday in the morning and other time slots depending on how you talk to your dealing agent, and we get you on the ground. So this is another place that they cannot sleep on. Mr. Zaza, another place that I would like to mention is the Lilai area. We have in Lilai a site that is extensive in size. We are allocating the plots into 20 by 30 in extent, going at only 385,000 kwacha. So what we have is, of course, something that is only 400 meters from Lilai Road, can be used for multiple and various uses. Rather, we're talking about the event center. You can put up an event center. You can put up apartments. You can obviously also put up your dream home. It's a very quiet, neat, developed place, close to amenities. We're talking about having actually one shopping mall, another shopping complex, and of course filling stations for your convenience, hospitals around the area also. So this is very convenient. And also you can get more space. We are not restricting you to a 20 by 30. You get more space. We can sit down and conversate around the pricing. You can build a school. I would more advise, of course, on the lower grade. We're talking about primary, kindergarten, and my grade 1 primary. Yeah, so we'll stick to that. So that's what we have here for you, and this is a place you cannot go wrong. This is a place where this price is competitive. Give it something like a year, you will not be able to find such prices in Lilai. Get it now and at least have an appreciation. The same thing like I said on the Green Village site. Come down on the ground and see. This is a site that I am very, very proud to have listed. This is something that I can greatly stamp my name and go like, apa muka viewing andala mugula ndalama mulibe muzasakila, because this is one site and a half.
All right, interesting. Now I know we are in the 9 minutes of the show, and obviously as we get close to that, a lot of information obviously has been shared on the show this evening, with regards to the Green Village, with regards to areas where people can actually go and do their land banking, and we're talking young investors here. But also, we have dealt a lot, on how you don't really need a lot of money to start investing into a property. Good information.
No, you do not.
So in terms of anyone who was listening to the program maybe for the very first time and would like to come through for a site visit or just sit down with any of you gentlemen here and get more details with what you've explained on the show, how can they find you? Where can they contact you from?
We're very, very easy to find for both the purchasing side and the buying side. But before I get into our locations, I would like to say for anybody that has property and are trying to sell that property, you know what? Come to the experts. Come to the people that have the biggest marketing platform, not only the biggest marketing platform, but the expertise to guide you through the selling process and give you all the right information that you need so that you're well equipped for that task. Come through to Horizon Properties. You can contact me on the number 0977 800 203. And Mr. Adrian, if you could give your number also.
0777 002756.
Yes, so you can contact us. I will repeat my number, that is 0977 800 203, and I will give you all the information you need. I will help you list that property of yours with us, Horizon Properties, and you shall experience an expertise like no other in this field. So the locations that, of course, we're situated are in Woodlands, which is also a construction and head office, is of course along Chindo Road, right opposite Woodlands A Primary School. And again, we're along Chindo Road in Kavalonga, on our old shopping complex, shop number 8. Again, like I said, along Chindo Road. We're also in town on the alley behind Lusaka Hotel. You can contact our Kavalonga office on the number 0211-260422. That's our Kavalonga office, and our town office number on 0211-226902. Of course, you can go through and skim our various properties, talking about the farmlands that have been mentioned, the residential plots. We've got properties of all sorts and all sizes. We're talking about property in Ibex, we're talking about Salama Park and all of these areas, rentals also. Get on our Facebook page, simply type in the handle Horizon Properties Limited, and you get to see our huge portfolio of property. And everything to do with the Green Village project, simply type in the handle Horizon Green Village Project, and you get to see in real time, what is happening with our project and have an appreciation from that.
All right. Adrian, done and dusted, as we can say. What can we look out for in terms of expectations from Horizon Properties?
There is so much which we are bringing to you. And I just talked about a new site in Elai. I'm going to mention another one, which we are opening, I think, in Lusaka West, and people should just look out for. It will be on our pages very soon, and I'm sure maybe as we come next week, we should be able to, of course, give the details of this particular new site. So it will be in Lusaka West, and the plots, of course, will be 20 by 30s, others. So please look out for these sites, and make sure to say you don't miss out. So if you missed out on the show, or maybe don't know where we're found, the best you can do is check us out on Facebook. Because everything that is sold at Horizon Properties is posted on our pages. Tonight we spoke of course, young people investing early, and the site in Lusaka West and the sites in Elai definitely present what you need for those that would want to maybe invest in these prime areas before land runs out. Because like we always say, you don't wait to buy land, you buy land and wait.
All right.
Looking for a plot to buy? Horizon Green Village has you covered. We have 20 by 22.5 plots going at 120,000 kwacha and 30 by 30 plots going at 228,000 kwacha. For site visits, we have site visits every Saturday at 9 hours. We meet from our Kavalonga office, and so if you want to register for the site visit, please do feel free to call the numbers on the screen.